This is Jill Pack with the Seasons of Joy podcast. This is episode number 156, Childlike versus Childish, Part 2, Purposeful Play and Adaptability. Are you a woman of faith who is struggling to navigate your current season of life? Do you feel like life is just happening to you instead of for you? My name is Jill Pack, and I'm a certified faith-based life coach and a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I want you to know that no matter your season or your circumstance, it is possible to create a more joyful life, and I would love to show you how. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the second part of my 4-part series where we are exploring the difference between being childlike and being childish. As we navigate these middle years of life, there's a lot of wisdom that comes from reconnecting with that childlike spirit while leaving behind those childish ways and stepping into what is called emotional childhood. So, grab your favorite drink, find a cozy spot, maybe it's your favorite chair or that sunny corner of your porch, and let's spend time discovering how we can continue growing into emotional maturity while keeping our hearts wonderfully young. But before we get started, I want to remind you about my conversation project. I'm having so much fun doing this. I am seeking to have meaningful one-on-one conversations with 25 women of faith in their midlife years. These personal dialogues, these conversations, will focus on understanding your unique experience, your challenges, and insights that you've gained during this important season of your life. So what do these conversations look like? They are a private 30-minute conversation where you get to talk and be truly heard. It's a safe space so you can share your authentic journey. You have an opportunity to speak freely about your struggles and the things that you like about this season and your strengths. A conversation that is based on deep listening, not advice giving. My commitment to those that I have conversations with is to listen with complete presence and attention. I will respond with empathy and compassion. I will honor your story without judgment, and I will respect the confidentiality of what you share with me. Your story matters. The experiences of midlife women of faith are important and often underrepresented. And you are full of wisdom and you have unique challenges that we can share with others to help each other. Your perspective is valuable and deserves to be heard. So if you are interested in sharing your story, please reach out to me by emailing me at jill@seasons-coaching.com with the subject line Conversation Project, or you can click the link in the show notes. Now on to this week's episode. As I was working on this week's episode and looking up information, I found some really cool things that I wanted to share with you. First of all, play isn't what happens when children are finished with the work of learning. Play is actually their most important work. It's an educational system that was divinely designed by our heavenly parents, which helps children develop as a person. Through play, children develop working memory, that ability to hold multiple pieces of information at the same time while also actively participating in an activity. They develop cognitive flexibility, the ability to mentally shift, right, which means adapting to new scenarios, changing rules, or switching between reality and fantasy. They develop problem-solving skills and creativity. They develop communication skills like storytelling, vocabulary expansion, and abstract thinking. They develop emotional regulation, learning how to process or find coping skills and grow an emotional vocabulary. They develop social skills, cooperation, negotiation, empathy, conflict resolution, physical development, right? Large muscle coordination and fine motor skills. All of these skills are developed through childhood play, and they become the foundation of adult success. When we are children, our play is spontaneous. It's instinctive. It's our default mode. Play is what happens naturally, organically, and continuously throughout their day, right? When we are children. However, as adults, we must deliberately choose to play. But we often have to overcome a few things. Things like an internal resistance and external pressures, right? We receive messaging around play, and we might have beliefs like it's unproductive or even frivolous. Play requires scheduling and permission giving and often guilt management when we are adults. So when children play, they are learning. For adults, play serves a different but equally important function. Multiple functions, I should say. Think of it this way. Children's play is like constructing and building a house, laying the foundation, building the frame, installing the systems of the house. Adult play is like maintaining and upgrading that house, restoring what's worn, enhancing what works, connecting the systems better, and keeping the whole structure meaningful and joyful to live in. So let's explore those 4 functions of adult play. First of all, restoration, recovering from stress, work demands, and life purposes. This is what play can do. Let's say maybe you work at a desk job and you decide to join a hiking group. This gives you the opportunity to shift your focus from spreadsheets to moving your body and connecting with others. Maybe you have a physical job and you're on your feet all day. So you sign up for a pottery class, right? This kind of play uses different muscles while giving you space and room for mental quiet. Maybe you work in a medical office where stress is high and you find restoration in putting together puzzles at night. Detailed focus is required, but it's a completely different from the stress of work, and it allows you to rest your decision-making mind. Maybe you're going through a divorce and you join a yoga class where you gently move your body while allowing yourself to reset your emotional baseline, right? Restoration is a beautiful part of adult play. The second function is enhancement, or improving existing skills and discovering new capabilities. So maybe you play Duolingo on your phone, right? You're maintaining your neuroplasticity. Or maybe you sign up for a cooking class, and so you're learning new cuisines and you're following directions and you're managing time as you're putting that recipe together, but you're also infusing maybe some creative adaptation, right? Maybe dance lessons. Maybe you've signed up for dance lessons. I remember I did this, maybe like 10 or 15 years ago. I signed up for a tap class, right? And that can help us improve pattern recognition, multitasking, presentation skills, because we performed. We got up in front of people, right? Or maybe you're part of a book club and you talk about these books, right? And sometimes they have in-depth or intricate themes, right? But we are tapping into our ability to see different perspectives or anticipate different outcomes, right? Skills we can learn in our relationships at home or at work. Another skill is connection, building and deepening relationships. Maybe you've signed up for a ballroom dance with your partner, right? You're learning new steps, you're navigating mistakes, laughing, and just creating a form of intimacy that's different than your daily routine and your daily conversations. Maybe you're working on home projects together as a couple, and you're using your problem solving, right? Your physical cooperation and a shared accomplishment that you've done together. Or maybe you have a family game night where you get together and you laugh and there's a little bit of fun competition, right? And we're engaging as a family. My daughter had they did for quite a while, extended family craft day. They would come up with a craft and get together and work on that craft as on a Sunday afternoon. Or one thing, maybe you have friend lunch dates. You get together with friends on a monthly basis and you laugh and you cry and you share things about yourself and you celebrate each other, right? You're building that connection. I know of a family in my neighborhood that does family cooking challenges. They invite other families over and they do like a cook-off. It sounded so fun when she was explaining it to me. Maybe it's volunteer service. I know in my religion, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, we often volunteer. And the other day, they did some volunteer service at my daughter's home, working in the yard, picking up debris and weeding, and the girls were laughing and the leaders were chatting with each other. It was just fun to watch their camaraderie as they were doing service. Another thing that I love to build connection is our community has these softball leagues in the summer, and we have a food stand, and it's so fun. It's multiple times a week. They have these games down at the square in town, and people gather to watch the games and eat. And in the summer, we go down at least once a week to get a burger from the burger stand and connect with neighbors that we often don't see in the winter. And it just builds that connection with community and family. Another function of play is perspective. Maintaining joy and meaning in life, right? Gaining perspective is so important as an adult. The other night, we had friends that were walking down the street that we hadn't seen forever. And we pulled up and we started chatting and we were talking and they're like, we should go to dinner. And I said, you know what? I have dinner in the house. I made soup. Come in and have dinner with us. And it was spontaneous, but it was so fun. We caught up, we shared things about our families, what was happening, and just reconnected. And it just was so fun to add that joy into our day just by this spontaneous dinner. Another thing that helps me gain perspective is when I go hiking with friends. I have a friend that often says, look up, because we're just surrounded by these beautiful mountains. And sometimes we get busy talking and laughing, and which is awesome, but sometimes we aren't looking. And so we just lift our gaze and we see the majesty of what is around us. Maybe you belong to a quilters group and you get together monthly and you hear other people's perspective about things that they're going through while you're also creating something together. Another thing that helps me have perspective is a family tradition that has been going on since I became part of my husband's family. His dad died when he was a young adult. And so for our whole marriage, 34 years, we go to the Logan Cemetery whenever possible. If we lived out of the country for a time, but for the most part, we've been able to do this. And we go up and it's an extended gathering. Aunts and uncles and cousins and nieces and nephews and just everybody gathers. And not everybody is the same every year, but there's usually quite a crowd of extended family that comes together. We catch up, we share what's going on in our family. And this year we did it and we went to my brother-in-law's house and we had a barbecue, and you just reconnect and you hear other people's life experiences again that are in your family. And so the cool thing that I've learned about play and of these different aspects, right, of restoration, enhancement, connection, perspective, that these four functions actually all work together. So when I think of my hiking or my biking friends, our time together incorporates that restoration piece, right? Physical exercise, nature exposure, mental break from work stress. It incorporates enhancement, improved fitness, navigation skills, right? Learning the trails and understanding things about the outdoors. It incorporates connection. We share our challenges. We solve problems together and we grow these ongoing friendships. I Love it. I love play as an adult. The other thing about adult play is it has ripple effects of positive impact. Think about personally. When you allow yourself to play, does your mood improve? Does your stress go down? Are your capabilities enhanced? Think about your relationships. Are your marriages stronger? Are your friendships deeper? Do you have better family dynamics? Maybe professionally, right? Is your creativity enhanced? Maybe you're a better leader. Maybe you handle stress better. What about in your community, right? If we allow ourselves to play, how do we notice it there? Are we building a stronger social fabric? Are we engaging in civic matters more? Is there more cultural enrichment when we allow ourselves to participate in play? What about generationally, right? When we play, we model healthy life balance for the children in our life. We can break cycles of overwork and stress. While children play to become capable adults, adults play to remain fully human in a world that so often demands that we function more like efficient robots than whole people. The adults who integrate purposeful play into their lives don't just survive modern life's pressures, they thrive within them, creating lives of meaning, connection, and sustainable joy. So now, after we've talked about purposeful play, I want to explore adaptability. I think this goes hand in hand with this idea. Isn't it something how children can move from tears to laughter in minutes? They adapt so quickly, while we grown-ups, we adults, often resist change with everything that we have in us. I think of my little almost 2-year-old granddaughter, Rosie. She is so cute and full of life, and she's just the perfect height to bump her head on the kitchen table at my house and wobbly enough to trip in the uneven grass. When either of those two things occur, tears usually begin running down her face, and she's looking for her mom, right? But as soon as her mom comes by and gives her a hug and picks her up and snuggles her, in time, those tears are completely forgotten, and she jumps up to continue on her adventure. Her heart has already moved on. When did we lose that beautiful flexibility? And more importantly, how can we reclaim it as women of faith in our midlife years? We can find ourselves gripping so tightly to our plans, to our expectations, to our vision of how things should be. Perhaps you can recognize this in yourself too. I can. We build our lives carefully, brick by brick. The way our home should look, how our careers should move forward, how our children should achieve, and the decisions they should make in their life, and how our faith journey should unfold. And then life happens. Job changes, health challenges, family shifts, unexpected loss. When these winds blow against that rigid structure we have in place that we've built, something has to give. Too often, it's our peace, right? Our peace of mind, our relationships, and even sometimes our faith that cracks under pressure. Imagine the magnificent willow tree. When storms come, mighty oaks sometimes topple completely. They break off, while those graceful willow trees bend and sway and remain standing. As we mature emotionally, we learn to bend without breaking, just like those beautiful willow trees. The willow doesn't resist the wind. It dances with it. Its strength isn't in rigidity, but in responsive flexibility. Think about that for a minute. Our strength isn't in rigidity. It's in responsive flexibility. Scripture reminds us in Ecclesiastes that there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. The wisdom comes in recognizing which season we're in and adapting accordingly. The Lord has been teaching me so much about adaptability over the last few years in this season of my life, particularly around surrendering my need to control everything, right? This has been a hard lesson. I used to think that controlling every detail was how I showed love and responsibility. If I could just manage everything perfectly, surely everyone would be happy and safe, right? Wrong. Control is an illusion. It's like trying to hold water in our fingers. As my children began leaving home and making choices of their own, I remember wanting to convince them of the choices that I wanted them to make. I craved to control the direction of their lives. It all came from love. But the Lord continues to gently show me that my desire to control their choices really is about easing my own anxiety. And I've learned to pray, "Thy will be done," with a truly open heart. And this has been transformative for me. Now, it doesn't mean I don't care. It means I can care enough to trust God's broader perspective. Seasons change. Our bodies change. Our roles change. Our friendships change. Fighting against these natural shifts only increases our suffering. When my husband and I became empty nesters, we suddenly had to navigate a completely new rhythm to our days after the schedule we knew so well. I could have clung to old patterns or resisted and resented the disruption. Instead, we decided to approach it as an adventure. This idea has grown with time. This empty nest, health challenges, career transitions, even losses, each can be approached with resistance or with openness. When we choose openness, we often discover unexpected blessings tucked within the challenges. Every difficulty carries a gift in its hands, though sometimes those gifts come heavily wrapped. While navigating a difficult family situation, my first reaction was one of fear and questioning, why is this happening to me? But as time has gone on and as I've prayed through it, I began asking different questions. Instead of why is this happening, questions like, what might God be teaching me through this? How might this challenge help me grow? This shift doesn't mean we pretend difficulties aren't painful. They absolutely are. But these are the very opportunities that will grow us. We can use them for our best good. The adaptable heart looks for the meaning and growth opportunity in every situation. So how do we do this? How do we cultivate adaptability in practical ways? Number 1, notice your resistance. When change comes, as it always will, pay attention to your first reactions. Where do you feel tension in your body? What thoughts immediately surface? What fears are driving your responses? Simply noticing these reactions without judging them is the first step toward choosing a different response. Number 2, practice small flexibilities. Adaptability is a muscle that strengthens when you use it. Maybe that looks like taking a different route to familiar places, or trying different foods outside your usual preference, or rearranging your morning routine, or saying yes to spontaneous invitations. These small practices prepare your heart for bigger adaptations when they're needed. Number 3, hold plans loosely. My word for the year is open, and I do this by writing my plans in pencil, just thinking of other possibilities rather than just one outcome, preparing without becoming attached to specific results, and looking for opportunities in the interruptions. Number 4, learn the art of the pivot. When circumstances change, maybe ask yourself, what remains possible even though my original plan isn't? What strengths do I bring to this new situation? Who might help me navigate this change? And what might I learn through adapting? As I have practiced these 4 principles of noticing my resistance, practicing small flexibilities, holding my plans loosely, and learning the art of the pivot, I've noticed beautiful changes in my life. Deeper trust. When we adapt rather than resist, we're practicing trust in God. More authentic prayer. My prayers have shifted from "fix this, Lord," to "guide me through this." Greater compassion. Understanding my own struggle with change has softened my heart toward others in transition. And unexpected joy. Some of my richest blessings have come through situations I initially resisted. As we close our time together, I want to encourage you to observe the children in your life this week. Notice their natural play and their adaptability. Look for ways to incorporate purposeful play that invites restoration, enhancement, connection, and perspective in your life. And maybe there's a situation in your life right now where you've been rigid, where God might be inviting you to bend rather than break. Remember that adaptability isn't about being weak or uncertain in your values. That willow tree has deep, strong roots. It's about being strong enough to be flexible, secure enough to embrace change, and wise enough to see God's hand even in unexpected circumstances. So I hope that something resonated with you today, that you can take and incorporate more purposeful play and adaptability into your life. Until next time, sending love and encouragement your way. Now, go out there and play. Thank you for tuning in to the Seasons of Joy podcast. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you liked what you heard, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share with your friends and family. If you want to learn more about me or how to work with me, just visit my website, www.seasons-coaching.com, and have a joyful week.